Welcome to CATtheMinion YouTube channel. My name is Theresa, but you can call me Cat. I'm doing a December quick overview and 2021 clock calendar reading for Cancer. I wanted to get these out before December, but it just hasn't worked out that way. So I'm recording this, I think it's the 5th, and depending on the weather and the available electricity, it may be out later even than that. I had to wait a couple hours for the ambient music down the hall to quiet down so I wouldn't get copyright infringed. Not a big deal though. I worked on something else while I was waiting. So I've been called to wear this bracelet that I've got, sort of ancestral little guys. It's not patina. It's not corroded either. What's that called? Well, anyway, the silver's going all kind of gray again. I did clean this when I found it. It's pretty old. I don't know how old it is. Probably maybe 100 years old, but probably at least 50 years old. And it's got these little guys on it. Tarnished. There we go. It's got these little native-looking faces on it. It might be a little bit of an enamel fill as well, but I felt compelled to wear that for this Cancer reading. So this is for anybody who's got Cancer, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, Venus. If you're going to be affected by the full moon in Cancer on December 30th, and then the full moon in Cancer on December 19th of 2021, or by any moon phase in particular, this would be for you. So there is some stuff going on with the moon. I've mentioned this in the other readings where it was applicable, but the moon is in Sagittarius on the 14th and 15th of December with the Sun and Mercury and the South Node. So there's a cluster there. On the 16th and 17th, the moon's going to be in Capricorn with Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter. And then on the 18th and 19th, the moon is going to be in Aquarius. It sort of trots into Aquarius with Saturn. So it's going to be there. And then on January 14th, when Uranus goes direct in Taurus, the moon, Mercury, Jupiter, and Saturn are all going to be in Aquarius together, the sign that is ruled by Uranus. And then Mars is going to be in Taurus while Uranus is going direct in Taurus. So all of those planets and signs are going to be affecting each other. So let's see. Okay, so as I'm recording this, the moon is in Leo. That's the 5th and the 6th. So that's that sort of the masculine and the feminine together, sort of an ecliptic type energy as well, a balancing energy. The new moon is on the 14th when the moon is in Sagittarius, which is, to me, is giving me this idea of mimicking scorpionic energy. What else is going on with the moon? I mean, it moves every couple of days, but there's some significance going on there. So when we move into the winter, when we hit the winter solstice on the 21st, the moon's going to be in Pisces, which is kind of interesting. It's sort of like as you sink into winter, the sort of master of the dreams slips into the subconscious, so people might have a hard time staying awake as we hit the darkest day of the year. And then the moon is in Capricorn when the sun hits Capricorn as well, so that's exciting. Alright, so I guess the energy that we're feeling on the 5th to the 6th is going to have another lap on the 22nd to 24th. Be feeling a similar kind of energy. It might be a time where people are a little bit more affectionate. Where's Venus in this time? Yeah, Venus is going to be... Wait, no, that's Mercury. Never mind. Well, Venus is going to be in No, why do I keep saying that wrong? Mercury is going to be in Capricorn at the same time, so there's probably going to be communications, but Venus is going to be in Sagittarius, so it might give that sort of Cupid energy, and it might not be exactly like lovey-dovey, it might be more flirtatious. I think it's going to be like a preemptive Valentine's Day kind of energy right around Christmas. I'm just saying that because it's a specific day. I would say, you know, again, December 22nd to 24th, that kind of energy. All right, so that's what's going on with Cancer and the moon energy. And we'll take a look at what's going on for what's been going on in December and essentially the rest of December. So we've got Cancer here, and I'm using the Bucket of Charms. I'm using the Legacy of the Divine Tarot and the Work Your Light Oracle and the Mystical Shaman Oracle here. So I think this is the only pile I've done so far where there's 2 Oracle decks being used, and the charms as well, which is essentially like another Oracle in itself. I think I did at least one reading that was all tarot, but besides the charms again. But let's take a look at what's going on for December for Cancer. So we have the Devil. So right away, this leads me back to that concept where I said that as the sun moves into Capricorn, so does the moon. Alright? This is just Saturnian energy. But it's upright, so, I mean, it does give the idea of sun sign Capricorn as well. Now, this is especially interesting for me because I have Cancer ascendant with sun sign Capricorn. So I'm not quite sure what it means entirely yet, but again, like I said, it's going to be, it almost might be a little bit more of like starting to overlap what you want to work on and what your dreams are working on. Like a manifestation of goals. Or, I mean, if you're in the shadow, it could also be the manifestation of your nightmares. Hopefully not. Inner Temple, Devotion, tune into the portal of your heart. So again, this is giving me a little bit more of a lean towards the make all your dreams come true. Vernon Shirley again. Vernon Shirley. Higher self and the earthbound self. And the blade. Okay. So I'm not surprised to see that. And it's upright, so that's good. So we have number 6, which is, in the tarot, is the number of the lovers, but it's also the choice, the decision, and it's healing as well. Right? Devotion, tune into the portal of your heart. So we do have a heart center healing here that's based on, again, this idea of manifesting what you dream of. Like, what do you really want in life that you haven't expressed? What's your secret desire? Especially with that 6 number and that potential sort of love slingshot happening right around Christmas. Okay. So the blade is the sharpness of mind, body, and spirit. And here it's summoning the power of heaven, which is just again that spiritual consciousness. But Cancer is already in there. It's sort of the rocket ship that's coming up out of the darkness, because the moon does rule the darkness as well. Not hiding from the inevitable. Heaven and earth align to support you in claiming your power. And we see heaven and earth align is basically the sun and the moon, the earth and the sky, the light and the dark. It's about claiming your power and decisive action. And I already said that the Lover's number has to do with choice and decision as well. Okay, it's this idea of being able to have precision cutting, or for surgical reasons, or to stab people. You can open a can of paint, you can open your pickle jar, you can open that box of care package stuff, or you can, you know, murder somebody. And it's that double-edged sword there of the dreams and the nightmares, which is available to the moon. It's the sort of pregnancy where you don't know what you're going to get. It's the mystery package. It's the there's another word for mystery package, but I can't remember what it is. I mean, there's possible choices. It's like, and you don't know what's going to get rolled until you throw down the dice. But with moon energy, but your desires have an effect on the energies, right? That's why they have to do double-blind science experiments, because the intentions and concepts of the scientists have a sort of quantum level effect on the outcome. It's in the basic sense it can be placebo effect, but in the opposite end of the basic sense, it can be like psychokinesis. It's somewhere along those, in the median. You have an effect on the world around you, and you have the ability to manifest your heart's desires if you tap into that and sort of stab forward with that idea. Alright, so let's move these. God, this bracelet is... It's like... I'm not used to wearing jewelry that much, so it's bothering me a lot, but I'm not supposed to take it off. Oh, there go the lights. I mean, this slushy ice stuff coming down, and it's threatening the electricity. Am I done here? Still, I guess, okay, I guess we're getting the whale done. A lot of charms coming out here for Cancer. Still not done. Okay, I guess that's enough. Okay, so way over here we have the octahedron. Representative of the air element. We'll put a pin in that. Let me collect all these upright charms here. So I have the octahedron, I have the llama, high altitude critter. Now, we went grocery shopping the other day, and one of the dog chew toys hanging off of the aisle was a rainbow unicorn llama, and it had a squeaky in it. And you know, I'm trying not to touch things that I don't have to in the store. because of COVID and because I was sick when I went to the store the other day. But I would have squeezed it because, you know, when it makes noise and you walk by, you gotta make the noise thing. But it's like, oh, I want the llama. Anyway, so here we have the feminine energy. And I keep being unable to say the right word for Venus or Mercury. Here's essentially Venus or the Empress energy. Archetypal feminine energy. Alright, so I've got... Okay. Keep those together. Okay, so this little pile... You can see that that's a penguin. This goes together. I don't think that these go together. So this is a toroidal field. It's also a donut. It's like a feedback loop. It's another variation of the yin-yang. The yin-yang is a cross-section of this energy. But I feel like... I'm just going to put the donut over here because I saw the T. The T and the donut and the chalice, I think, go together. And this goes together. I think this goes here. These go... Oh, this goes over here with that. What's that? Telephone. Okay. Just trying to figure out where these go together. Okay, the snake and the telephone. There's a lot here. Okay, these are all stuck together, and these are singular messages. Okay. Alright, this is like a whole friggin' chapter over here. 2 minutes. I'm gonna start another segment. So when I was getting a sip of water in between turning... Oh, there's another charm over here. In between turning on the segments, I was thinking of that Rihanna song, Stay. I think it's that one. Yeah, round and around and around and around we go. So this has to do with cycles, but it's also this idea of a feedback loop. I keep repeating myself over and over again. And the reason I keep repeating the cycles because I keep feeding myself back the same information. And then wondering what the hell is going on. This is... Alright, so here's the microphone. Magnifying glass. There we go. I was trying to say microphone at the same time. So I guess this goes... Oh, see, I thought this was a microphone, but it's actually a thermometer. So there's the mercurial energy. So I have a magnifying glass, I have a thermometer, and I have a match here that's on fire. This is one of my Ace of Wands charms, but maybe not in this instance. So I have the match, I have a magnifying glass, I have a thermometer, and then I have this t-shirt here. Now, I thought this was going to be a message about a microphone and a t-shirt talking about advertising, but what's going on here is I'm using the magnifying glass to light something on fire, right? I'm creating a concentrated beam and it's making the temperature go up. And it's sort of like you need to be aware that if you push too much energy into something, it's almost like, are you hyper-focusing on something so much that it becomes flammable? And it's this idea that it's a little bit similar to like the watch pot never boils, but it's sort of like messing with something too much until you ruin it. You know, it's like, let me just look at this ancient manuscript one more time and the good light, and you're got the magnifying glass. Again, I'm trying to say microphone and magnifying glass at the same time. You get the magnifying glass, and you're looking at it and trying to get the light so you can read the faint writing, and it bursts into flames because of the convex lens there. It's like too much heat, too much energy in certain things sometimes backfires on you. Gotta leave it alone for a minute. It's got a shelf life. Okay. Alright, so I feel like the llama and this inverted rainbow and the octahedron and the Kama Sutra were inverted also go together. Now, when I see the Kama Sutra inverted, it usually means I'm uncomfortable in this position. And the rainbow inverted indicates like a storm is brewing. Or like this makes me really unhappy. It's like the opposite of, in some ways it's like the opposite of the magnifying glass. It's like taking all of the rays of color and sucking them back through the prism until they're just one dull color. Like I've been stuck in this position where it's draining all of my essence. I keep having to put myself in these positions that sort of shuts down each of my chakras. And it's like I'm also getting this idea of like climbing so high on a mountain that you run out of oxygen. And I'm not quite sure what that has to do with each other yet, but they're related because of the rainbow and the llama. What was the tea going to? Oh, the donut and the tea. Okay. Up on Cripple Creek, she sends me. If I spring a leak, she mends me. I don't have to speak, she defends me. A drunkard's dream, if I ever did see before. She puts a donut in my tea. What does that mean? Some of this stuff with the llama over here is in 2021, Cancer needs to continue to speak up for themselves, and sort of breathe deeply into their lungs and really like let it out when things are uncomfortable for them. Because there's no cup, there's no tea. And it's sort of like you're in a place where you're not going to eat this same feedback loop again, like it's some kind of dessert that you expected. You know, you don't want to keep swallowing the same thing over and over again. You need to expel. You need to nobody's gonna pull the wool over your eyes. I just heard alpaca sandwich to go on a picnic. Okay, so here's this feminine energy here, and it's coming in combined with the third eye in reverse. Now, along with standing up for yourself and being in an uncomfortable position, there's this idea again of like, I need someone to step in and take care of me. I'm not connected to my own higher self, my feminine energy, wherein I'm able to make sure that I'm caring for myself on a basic level. I'm checking in with myself. I'm like, hey, are you okay? And again, it's this idea of nurturing myself is also standing up for myself. And if I have a clear vision of who I am, then I know what I don't want to get into. Now, in reverse, I have the toothpaste. And I feel like this has to do, again, with, like, not wanting to speak up. It's like, people are going to think I've got bad breath or something if I suddenly start saying no to things that are out of alignment with me, even when I know it and I'm not nurturing myself. So in reverse, I have the pigeon. I just heard stool pigeon. And I also heard parroting. So again, it's this idea of feeling pushed around to someone. And also the idea of carrier pigeon, right? I'm not delivering my message. I gotta take this thing off. I'm gonna get a rash or something. Ugh, alright. Just put this here. Alright, so let's look at this. So this is supposed to be like a high top sneaker. It kind of looks like a work boot. And I have an owl. I'm just trying to hold it so it's easier to see. So I have the owl. I heard like a hoot and then hot footin'. I'm not quite sure what to make of that yet. Do sneakers and owls have in common? I'm going to come back to that. So this other pile, I have a snake. Very current shaped snake. I have the no symbol. I just heard no girls allowed. And then I have the telephone. It's like, you're not allowed in my clubhouse. And we're going to use our cans and our string, and we're going to talk to each other, and you can't come in here because you're a girl. I'm still not sure what the owl and the sneaker have. I mean, Cancer is a very feminine energy, so that's probably why this feminine is here, but it's sort of like I'm not connected to this energy. Okay, so this is like wisdom can only be gained by treading the path. There's only so much empirical knowledge that you can have, but in order to actually gain the wisdom, you have to have this experience. You have to walk a mile in someone's shoes. Alright. So the whale in reverse indicates to me that there's been an avoidance of dealing with emotions. And also, I'm getting this idea of ancestral emotional trauma, right? Because it's something that's like away. We have the seed here. Sacred geometry, the seed of life. And in reverse, the rooster. What does this mean? I'm getting a little bit of like chicken licking energy with the rooster, like the sky is falling. And there's this idea that I don't know what else. Where's a chicken? There's a rooster. Strutting around. Yeah, so it's really obscure, but I think what's going on with the whale and the rooster and the seed of life. Oh, I just got this I think it's the Butthole Surfers. It's something in the Game of Life or something like that. I can't remember what the song is called. And my computer's off right now because the power flickered a couple times. So I'm gonna look up that song in my music library and post it underneath the video. I don't know if it's called The Game of Life or what, but I think the lyrics might be relevant. So it's going to take a minute because there's a crap ton of charms, and I think there's a reason that I wasn't able to do tarot for like 5 days leading up to this. Also because I burnt out on that Gemini reading, but the overall gist is sort of ancestors strutting around, putting up a brave front, while on the interior there it's like the sky is falling. I'm like we're in danger, and it could be the after effects of cataclysmic trauma, and that then this sort of seed of like I've seeded life, but now it's got this trauma just right into the chromosomes. It has to be released deep in the depths. Okay, so what is this? I guess I'm doing this pile first. So I have the wheel upright. I have the cowboy hat in reverse. Somebody is trying to ford the river there. So I have the cello upright. And the scissors. And this is like a charity thing. It's a fancy glove giving a coin to raggedy gloves. This is basically equivalent to the 6 of Pentacles. Oh, my chart's over here. Okay. Everything's kind of moved around. 6 Pentacles energy is the moon in Taurus. Okay, so this is a kind of energy that's going to be coming around. I mean, there's going to be a hit of it on January 14th because the moon is in Aquarius, which is affected by Uranus turning direct in Taurus. Now, on December 25th and 26th, the moon is going to be in Taurus. So first there's going to be in December this sort of love is in the air kind of energy, and then like boom, right on Christmas, this idea of charity and giving. So there's this idea of kind of like opening up, which might help resolve some of this emotional backlog. When I see the wheel turning, and it's sort of like the worm has turned kind of energy, like the snake has gone from a no to a wheel. Right, the worm is turned. So why don't I have the scissors? So we've cut the. It's like we've cut the brakes on this vehicle, and we cut the brakes on the wagon. We're going full steam across this river. We're gonna ford that river. We got places to go and people to do. But why the cello? I'm cutting cords. changing my tune. Why is the hat inverted? Oh, okay, I'm taking my hat off and coming inside. And a welcoming energy to move forward and communicate. Interesting. Okay, so what's this other pile of charms here? So I have the penguin, which keeps showing up in these readings. Okay, so now I just heard from Michael Jackson, Black or White. All of a sudden, I can't remember the lyrics now. Something about being my brother, it doesn't matter if you're black or white. Inverted, I have the elephant, which is essentially the brain and the brain stem. And also inverted. Oh, now I have the microscope. I don't think this has come out yet since I've made it. So I have the finely tuned microscope with a little slide on it, which is interesting. So I kept picking up the magnifying glass, and I thought I was trying to say microphone, but apparently I was trying to say microscope. Okay. So the microscope and this sort of elephant never forgets. When I look really close at the details, there's something that I'm not going to forget. But these are in reverse. So it's like I've forgotten all about the important details. And here it's like about reconciling our differences. Now what's interesting is we started off with air stuff. We're ending with this idea of emotional issues, and we had the rooster and the whale, and I feel like the penguin is sort of like combining the two, right? I have a bird that's earthbound, more or less. I mean, they can glide a little bit. And then I have a land creature that's gone aquatic. And now I have a grounded air creature that's gone aquatic. It's sort of combining these two. And it's like, what am I getting here? Elephant. Microscope. It's out of focus. Brain fog. Okay. So things often look black and white. You can't come in here, we're too different. And there's this brain fog that occurs that sort of gets you stuck into this either or category. But what you need to remember is that there's a reason people have differences, and it's the details about individual people that are important. And like, who are they, what do they think, what experiences have they had, what is interesting to talk about. So and it's this this idea that speaking up about what you like and don't like keeps you from being pigeonholed, right? I'm not going to be pigeonholed into the light, into just the belly of the penguin or the back of the penguin. I'm going to be like the little orange hairs up on the top of his nose or whatever. There's there's sort of like broad strokes that separate people and cause conflict in this. You know, if you only look a certain amount into it, there's conflict. But if you look even deeper, there's fine details that set up this sort of fundamental pattern where things kind of collapse and expand on a continual basis. And the idea is to be in flow with the feedback loop and have this idea of connection and discernment so that you can nurture yourself and your emotions, and in that way, especially because Cancer is very emotional, your sort of psychic link up is through the emotions. It's through empathy, but you don't have to take on everybody's baggage. You can say, well, I'm uncomfortable with this position because this isn't even my energy. I'm going to brush this somebody else's vomit out of my teeth because it's not for me. Alright, so this is what's going on with Cancer for 2021. So now that I've gone on for a while, because of the giant assload of charms that came out, let's look at January in particular. It's obviously probably going to take a while for this reading because I have 2 oracle decks, but you know, we do what is the energy here. So here's the moon in reverse. What a way to start out. So why is Cancer standing on their head? So this chart, sun, sun, sun. Here we come. So when is I was going to say, when is the sun in Cancer? But that's coming in July. Or is it? Yeah. In July. But again, I said the moon is in Leo on December 5th and 6th while I'm recording this. But when is this? What does that mean? Okay. There we go. The sun and the moon are going to be in Cancer. No. That's not right. Oh my god, I just said it at the beginning of the reading. 16th and 17th. Capricorn. Oh, it's in Aries on the 22nd and 24th, so I was reading that wrong. That's weird. I was reading that entirely wrong. So the moon is going to be in Aries on the 22nd to 24th. But in that way, it's sort of a diplomacy. Well, if my handwriting were better and I wasn't tired, I would probably have picked that up. But anyway. That's weird. I'm sure I said it wrong for a reason, but always upsets me when I say things wrong. Is that what I'm... Oh, okay. Let's do it this way. The moon is in Cancer on the 30th to 31st of December. And Saturn... That's still not right. Okay. Alright, I figured it out. Figured out what the hell I'm doing wrong. The Saturn and the moon are moving from Capricorn to Aquarius on the same day, on the 18th of December. and the sun is in Capricorn, which is ruled by Saturn. Oh my god. So there's a planetary link between the sun and the moon and Aquarius. And I think we're seeing it coming up in January because Saturn and the moon are going to be in Aquarius together again on January 14th when Uranus goes direct. So this is indicating the Uranus retrograde. Holy crap, okay. So there's and again, there's this idea of manifestation in dreams carrying forward into January, where there's a shift in the collective consciousness. And we can see that here because there's an ancestral trauma, but we're dealing with this idea of no girls allowed, which is essentially the patriarchy. So not only is there this collective catastrophic trauma linked into the DNA, right? It's where microscopic DNA, the chromosomes. There's this idea of I'm comparing myself to the other people, to people all around the world. It's a global issue. Trust your path. If you knew you would be supported, what would you do? Okay, so there's this idea of that goddess energy, the empress, the mother, this feminine energy. I need to feel like the universe is supporting me, but I also need to have my third eye connected to the universe to be able to help support myself. I still feel this is like waking up a little bit. So we have this circle and it's coming in inverted. So 8, which is strength or justice. I feel like it's supposed to be strength because it's Leo energy and it came in inverted, which is the moon, which means that these are pairing, like the sun and the moon both turned around, mimicking and mirroring each other. So the circle has to do with people working together, but I know I read this recently, but I don't remember it word for word. Okay. So unification, interconnectedness, a sense of continuum. We're all one, dancers in a unified, continuous, inclusive circle. The cycles of life and the evolving self, always changing and connected. Human, spirit, nature, cosmos, which is kind of what I was talking about, is like being connected to the universe, but then also sort of realizing that everyone has this sort of collective trauma while also trying to deal with the individual differences between people. Everybody's sort of it's like I keep seeing like a trampoline floating on the ocean and everybody's trying to like step on it so that the tension of where people's bodies are on the trampoline keeps it tight enough to float them. And that's kind of a weird analogy. Okay, so it's inverted, which means when the circle comes as your medicine, you're meant to come to an understanding of the importance of decay and letting go. The importance of dying to an old form and being reborn anew, which is why this seed was there with the whale and the rooster inverted. It's the new the new thing that's going to come up and grow. If you are faced with the challenge of loss or disappointment, remember this. In the circle of life, nothing is ever wasted. Love will seek itself again, prosperity will come from a new idea or opportunity, and spirit always waits for you to find your place in the dance again. Okay. So it's sort of like if you're struggling with where you are right now, just sort of let it go and try to walk down to the next bus stop for the next soggy trampoline to float by. Alright. So I need to blow my nose for a second and get a sip of water, and then I'll get into February. So we have justice. So notice I had the 8 I said was strength or justice. Well, here is a justice with an 11 on it, which is ruled by Libra, which is ruled by Venus, which is the Empress. And the difference between the 8 and the 11 is 3, which is the Empress number. God damn, I just dropped her. There she is. Alright, so justice. Balance. Right? We're trying to balance that soggy trampoline. So here we have Anna, grandmother of Jesus, coming in inverted. Seeding the light, laying foundations, divine plan. Notice it says seeding, and here's the seed of life. I wonder if Star Mother came out in the reading. Let me see if it's still in the deck. I'm wondering if there's some of these cards that I never see. I think there's ones that I don't see very often. But I guess this deck doesn't have that many cards in it. 45 or something. Okay, so it came out in the reading, so I'll get to it later. So I have something to say about that card when it pops out. So we have Luminous Warrior, 32, breaking down to 5. So 3 is the number of the Empress, 2 is the number of the High Priestess, and when they come together, it's 5, it's the Hierophant, which is also Venus, Taurus energy. But it's the mastery of the material and the spiritual. So the Luminous Warrior, this guy here, he's gone into the dark, and he's sort of let himself be consumed by it, but he's at a point where he's grown accustomed to seeing in the dark, and now he's sort of bioluminescent. Or he's generating his own light. And he's not really like fighting the dark. He's not angry or scared by it. He's sitting in his own presence and letting his light radiate outward from him, which is a little bit sun energy in that sense. And this is seeding the light, inverted. So there's this idea of what's happening in February is I need to balance and let go of things from that circle card to kind of work with everything. And I'm just starting to wake up. I need to go to the bathroom, I gotta brush my teeth, I gotta have some breakfast and maybe caffeine or whatever, juice. And then here, seeding the light, laying foundations, divine plan. I'm not necessarily confused, there's just a delay because I'm trying to balance myself out, I need to know where I need to bring justice in order to to start radiating, right? I need to put a little bit more energy into my circuit so that my light goes a little brighter. So let's look at March. Nine of Cups inverted. I just heard like, I'm getting like sad face, but I feel like that's... Alright, Nine of Swords. What is the... Okay, so we have... I'm getting like, I'm afraid of getting what I want. And the energy here... Jupiter in Pisces. It's like that which I've been aiming for my whole life has been so far recessed into my subconscious that it startles me. So we have 9 inverted, again, completion, right? In order to complete a cycle, I need to sort of achieve a goal or some kind of contentment. And I'm having trouble doing that. So I'm going to read the medicine for this card in a second. Notice 9 and 9 is 18. That's that moon energy again. We have no, wait, postpone, pause, and say no. Okay. So what I'm getting is that there's a new moon in March that has something to do with the subconscious. And there's a time where people need to sort of all stop what they're doing and basically wait for an energy grid update. So let me see what this completion in reverse is. It's almost like backtrack a little bit. Oh, okay. It's like get in, losers. We're changing timelines. Because there's a subconscious shift, but it's still this idea of I'm afraid of getting what I want. Number 9. Number 9. Number 9. Clinging to the old form will bring only decay. Again, decay. That word twice. When fruit is left too long on the vine, it rots. You know what? That it is time to move on, yet are reluctant. Do not be afraid of hurting anyone's feelings. Remember that you're responsible for your actions, not the actions of others. Mourn what is lost so you can move on. Do not be sad. Be like the sun at midday who shines brightly, neither longing for sunrise nor dreading the dusk. Okay. I think some of this has to do with the idea of being afraid of what you want. Is I keep getting stuck in this nightmare cycle where I get put in positions that I don't want to be in and I'm afraid to speak up. But there's also this idea of being afraid to move on because what if like my deepest subconscious desires are expressed and then somehow they're destroyed. And in that, it's sort of like mourning the loss of what you really want when you haven't even given it a chance to really sprout. And it's sort of like you need to wake up from this nightmare where you're psyching yourself out ahead of time because you can't move forward in that energy, because it's going to, you're going to end up rotting your own dreams by your own worry, instead of focusing on the positive energy of growth. Right? Why are you cutting yourself off at the knees when your boots are perfectly fine? You just need to put them on and get them worn in a little bit because they're brand new. You're going to get blisters on your ankles with your new pair of ice skates till they're broken in. All right, so April. Got blisters on my fingers. So here's the Tower inverted, so we have an internal transformation. It could also be resistance to transformation because of that, but I feel like it's more internal because we're still dealing with the subconscious. So this is Mars energy, and it's coming in inverted. I think this is an aftershock of Mars retrograde in Aries, and we see it coming in April when Aries energy is starting. So it's sort of like as soon as the sun hits Aries, it's like I gotta make sure that now that the spotlight's on me, that I don't screw up my lines and start reciting the old play. Right? Because the whole point of transformation of the Mars retrograde in Aries was for masculine energy to essentially go through this cycle that Cancer is dealing with the in between these two full moons, basically. Transformation inverted. So internal destruction of the old ways, and then internal transformation because it's inverted. And we have the DNA here and this sort of psychic realm. Things are changing at a cellular level, deep healing. But why is it inverted, though? It's like I'm down with the sickness. So here we have the drum, 15. I really want to know why that transformation is inverted, though. Oh, okay, because it's confusion or a delay. The 15, the drum. So if that's... 15 is the devil energy again. But it also is the magician and the Hierophant, and it breaks down to 6, which is the lovers, which is that decision and healing and male-female, masculine and feminine energy interaction. But let me see the drum here real quick. I know I read this recently in one of these other readings, but I don't remember it because I haven't had this card that much. The rhythm of the drum tunes you to the beating heart of the universe. Animal Kingdom. Striking the drum calls forth the power of thunder and the rumbling of the earthquake. The drum invites a trance state where healing and prophecy happen. Okay, it invites you to take the next bold step in your journey. Forces of heaven and earth are aligned behind you. This is not a time to push against the river. The current will take you exactly where you want to go once you jump in. So that particular phrase there is very important for Cancerians who are like really soggy water element. Allow yourself to be carried by the rhythm of what is really essential in your life. So what I actually feel like is happening here, this idea of thunder and rumbling, it's sort of like the lightning's about to hit the tower and bring it down. And it's like the vibration of the universe itself is shaking the tower apart, and it's going to like vibrate all of the matter into its like constituent elements, and then when it's broken apart, it has the ability to like congeal back into some other form, and that's where the transformation happens. So it's talking about something It's almost talking about something that isn't quite happening yet. It's like a foreshadow. It's saying that we're picking up this energy in Mars in April, but we have 15 breaking down to 6 and then 16 breaking down to 7. It's like it's a process that's going to take a couple of months here. And I think I said something about, yeah, I did say something about July. We're starting it here, and when the sun hits Cancer in July, the transformation's going to be complete. So there's this idea that like all throughout the summer there's going to be this sort of like either importance for Cancer to be listening to music with a lot of bass in it, or to be able to be in live music where there's drums, or to get a drum, or to somehow establish a drumming of your own chest in some way. What else would it be? Like a massage chair, even. Something like that. Alright, so let's look at May. So the King of Coins. So notice I had 15, 16 for April, and now in May I have a 14. King of Coins breaks down to 5. He's also balanced because he's at that 14 level. What's his energy? Pentacles. Okay, so he's Aries and Taurus. So he's got the Mars energy of the Emperor, and then he's got the Empress energy coming through Taurus, so sort of grounded and able to manifest. He's also in a point where he's healing, right? Because he's in the physical body. Balance. He is pH balanced and is drinking the right amount of electrolytes in his water. So you have the ever unfolding rose cracked open. It's happening for you, not to you. All right, we're getting some resolution from this balancing out that was happening earlier in the year. And then we have the sun. 53 breaking down to 8. So I have this idea of the Hierophant, the Empress, and then strength or justice with the sun energy. So it's probably going to be strength because it says the sun on the card. I do want to skim this because it might have something to do with the rose. Skim the sun real quick. 53. And I see the 14 of the king breaking down to 5, and I see that as part of the 5 as the 5 in the sun. So it's like the King of Coins is like the son of the sun itself. Like he's the next of kin of the emperor. He's the heir to the throne, basically. To what throne, though, is left to interpretation. Sun is acknowledged by many cultures as the foremost masculine force. In other traditions, it's seen as the feminine in her full power, and we see that because it has 5 and 3 on it. Breaking down to 8. Okay, so it says for the Sun card, it says, have you been hibernating? Have you been introspective? Time to come out of your cave and savor the life-giving light of our star. The sun rekindles your passion and your creative energy. Life is calling you to shine your light and add to your lightness and humor to the seriousness around you. Get out and play. Alright, so I feel like this is saying, sort of like in the northern hemisphere we have the end of winter, and Cancer, being a moon person, probably doesn't get that much vitamin D. And in order to sort of help with this possible extended seasonal depression, in order to balance out your energies and get a little bit of a grounding, to be out in nature long enough to get, you know, a little bit of sunshine to stimulate the skin and the connection to the earth and the sky, to help with healing, and then the ability to manifest when you're connected to the physical world and your physical body. Again, often Cancerians not that connected to the exterior world. Very much in the emotions. So this is sort of coming down to earth, out of orbit a little bit. So June. Temperance, another 14. So we have the balance of fire and water, and the sun is the fire, and then Cancer is the water. And here we have Sagittarius energy here. Again, giving me this sort of I just heard relapse, but like the next point in the wheel of that December romantic energy. Alright, so this is coming in inverted. It's Akasha. Your guidance is divinely guided. I'm getting internal guidance. It's like once you're balanced out, you don't have to go out and try to seek affirmations or the pathway as much, because your inner equilibrium will sort of your feet will sort of pull you forward in that sense. So we have the hummingbird, 26, breaking down to 8. So we have 8 again, and we have 2, that high priestess number, with 6, the lover's number again. I think the hummingbird is about journeying, but I am going to skim it because I haven't seen it in a while. We just have this moon here with Cancerian energy, and this very green Neptunian energy as well. So giving me Piscean energy, which tells me the high priestess again, personally, and also the moon card, traditionally ruled by Pisces, but I like to switch those. Alright, so let me check out the hummingbird real quick. Yeah, great journeyers. Hummingbird teaches us to be gentle to ourselves and protect our personal space. Again, the idea of not speaking up when you're starting to be in a position that makes you unhappy. Invites you to embark upon your epic quest. Bypass the dung pile of old pain and hurts. Head for the flowers and learn to trust the calling you hear ever so softly. Right, again, it's sort of like I'm not necessarily looking for my guides to hand me a tom-tom and a backup map. My feet are walking and taking me with them, because my inner equilibrium is balanced enough that I'm just kind of following the path, and then immediately the card of journeys comes out. And I think also this guidance, divinely guided, it's sort of like there's like an indication that there's going to be a big message coming, but it's also this idea of you don't really need to know what it is yet, just sort of set out there and head for the humming, because we're coming out of this like thunder and lightning phase. It's like, in order to break something down, you gotta get loud with it to sort of destroy it. And then this sort of like, hey, what's that new tune that's coming in over the horizon? What's that sound? It's also talking about being in the moment, but that has to do with balance as well, and just sort of listening to where your feet are taking you, whether that's physically or metaphorically. Alright, I'm going to check my focus here. It still looks pretty good. So we're looking at July. Oh man, I'm tired. Okay. July. So we have the Ten of Wands inverted. Alright. This transformation, huge load off the shoulders there. Saturn in Sagittarius. No. Yeah. Saturn in Sagittarius. Coming in inverted. Free to move, no longer tied down. Mirror. Who or what is triggering you? No longer tied down by things that are constantly triggering me. And we have the Beloved inverted, number 5. Okay. I think I had said that this was like a combination of the Lovers and the Four of Wands at some point, but I can't remember. It's like the Lovers and something else combined. Maybe the Empress. I'm not sure. But I'm going to have to skim that. But we see there's a root issue here, right? My root issue is that I'm constantly being triggered by what the universe is reflecting at me, and I'm letting go of it, right? I'm dividing my burden in half, going from an inverted 10 to an inverted 5. But we still need some help here. So let's see what the medicine is for the Beloved. Recognition of spirit in another. Recognizing the divine in others and being in love. Not confusing their personality with their divine nature. Okay, so the issue is here. It says, be careful with romantic love, the kind you fall in and out of. Own all the projections you have placed upon the person you are dreaming of. Oh, this is coming in July. Didn't I say that it was going to be like that stuff in December? Right? We're getting this transformation and it's going to finish here. So there's this aspect with Cancer where Cancer, now this might not be for everybody, but it's definitely coming in for like a large percentage of the Cancerian energy that's coming up, is that Cancer is trying to get into a relationship, or there's like a divine timing where they're going to be entering into a relationship with somebody, and whether there's an inkling there or it doesn't happen until July, it's sort of like the resolution of being triggered and mirroring each other in terms of the ego self versus the higher self, where, you know, in the physical world, you're manifesting like a different persona than what either of you is detecting in of your higher self. So you're trying to have a relationship with their higher self, but you keep getting triggered by having this physical mirror at you of like in a lower vibration. And you're like, what the hell's going on here? There's something not stirring the Kool-Aid here. So you're only mirroring back your own deep longings rather than revealing their true selves. If you fail to notice this, be prepared to walk through the fire of strong emotions once again. We see this here in July, that we're really letting go of the burdens of this triggering, and this is just a reminder that this is what's being let go of in particular. With the sun in Cancer, right? The sun and the moon the light and the dark, the masculine and the feminine, dipping into each other's dreams and nightmares for a whole month. Alright. So August, Ace of Cups. I'm not surprised to see that pop out right after that July segment. Ace of Cups. Council of Light. Divine orchestration helpers in the subtle realms. Right? So your ancestors, your guides, your higher self, your peeps, whoever, trying to push you towards this Ace of Cups. For Cancer, this is like the whole, like, I was gonna say it's like the Holy Grail. It's like, oh, it's like, I have finally found my missing sock in the dryer. And then we have 40. So I'm not quite sure how this is supposed to be pronounced. I keep reading it as Pachamama. It's number 40, which is giving me the Emperor energy, but then also the Fool energy. Also a little bit of Four of Wands, that twin flame number, which is doesn't have to be twin flame, but it can be masculine and feminine energies coming together in a balanced way to create a foundation. So let me read this one because it's been a while. 40. Was that all three cards? It was. 40. Unconditional love that the earth has for all her children. So some of this divine orchestration could be like a resonance of the earth that is requiring its inhabitants to establish more balanced love relationship patterns. And it might be that certain Cancerians who are resonating with this, the love portion of this reading, are going to be establishing a template for other people to say, like, oh my god, they're learning how to be in a relationship in a harmonious way. Maybe I should monkey see, monkey do, or somehow I'm gonna, like, was it like the 100 Monkeys experiment? No, was it? It was like a bunch of orangutans or something, where they. But it's the basic idea is that when you have like one individual figures out how to do a new task, they invent a solution on their own. They figure out how to open a box or peel an orange or something like that. And, you know, maybe one other one sees them do it and then tries to do it too, or has this spontaneous, or discovers their own method of doing it. And by the third one either copies the other ones or, again, really learns how to do it on their own. But by the time 3 of them do it, suddenly the whole population knows how to do it, and sample population on the other side of the planet suddenly knows how to do it too. So it's this thing where it's like the earth itself is commanding certain resonant couples to establish this bandwidth of relationship, and as soon as she gets enough people on the bandwidth, it's going to spread like wildfire. It's kind of like how the house that I live in desires to have people in it. The house isn't haunted, it has a presence. It's sort of like the earth itself, where it's like, I want a certain amount of life in me in order for things to move more harmoniously. You know, it's like, if there's not enough people living here, I'm going to collect a bunch of stray animals. And in much the same way the earth is saying, I want more harmony. Has to do with about the soul and the biological body. Yeah, the rest of this isn't really relevant because I picked up what I needed to after the first sentence. All right, so that's what's going on in August. Look at September. The Lovers, of course. Not surprised to see that. So we have Gemini energy, the twins. Boundaries. Where do you need to establish better boundaries? Interesting. And then the middle world inverted, 36. So I have 6, and then I have 6 cubed, the middle world. So there's going to be an issue here. Now, I think this is mostly now that we've established that we're not mirroring with each other, we do still need to understand that we're not the same person, even though we're like there's a space where I end and you begin, and where you end and I begin, and we can still be in a relationship with each other where we're not pulling out of each other. Again, this is the idea of balance and of not becoming overly dependent on the other person just because it feels good to have a constant flow of love coming in finally. So let's look at the middle world and see what that medicine is expounding upon, because this is something that's happening like in manifestational reality. We're not thinking about it, we're not feeling about it, we're trying to establish it as like ongoing in the present. Do not try to correct in the earth what needs to be corrected in the heavens. The resources to support the change or endeavor you're considering are not readily available to you yet, so it's important to ask for help from the invisible realms, from helpers in the upper world. For now, wait. Okay, that's kind of weird and doesn't really go with the other part of the message that I was getting. So I'm actually going to get another card to see if it can explain what they're talking about. Please explain more about what the middle world has to do with the lovers and the boundaries. Wait a minute, let me skim that again. I think I might have it. Okay. Okay. Okay, so what this is actually talking about is other people not being ready on Earth to accept the kind of relationship paradigm that you're laying out. It's assaulting the sensitivity of their boundaries, and they need more spiritual work to sort of be present with this concept that's coming through. So while things might be hunky-dory for you and your person, the rest of the world is in a place of catching up, and what you have might be an affront to them, and they might not be ready to get into that, and there might be something where they try to overstep your boundaries because they don't want to see that yet. So it's a little bit of a warning to say, stay, don't let people overtake your boundaries, but be prepared that they may not be ready, the world might not be ready for that energy signature yet. Sort of, engage shields, like on the USS Enterprise. Alright, so let's look at October. Knight of Cups. Okay. So we have a 12 here. I think this has to do with sort of bringing that message to the next kingdom. Right? Here, September, not quite time yet, October, as time slips into Sun Scorpio, it's like we might be ready to other people might be ready to start hearing this energy signature. Birthing a new age, birthing new creations, dreaming a new world into being. Okay, so this is going to happen on Halloween. They have the portal, the end of the pagan year, the bringing of the new year. So this, again, as it heads, well, Halloween is a little bit after Scorpionic energy, but especially on Halloween, we have this gateway opening up, which is why there's going to be some people in place already. They're sort of like, you know, you and your person is this stone in the ring, and then someone else is over here. And when the earth gets, enough handful of people together to open up the whole Stargate. Okay, so we have the serpent. 46. I think this is not supposed to be inverted. This has to do with Kundalini energy of the masculine and the feminine energy. And we see this, it looks kind of like a gateway opening. But let me just skim this. 46 breaking down to a 10. So there is going to be a completion of some kind here. I just heard like inner completion. I'm like, what does that mean? But it's like turning the dial in the watch. It's like resetting the watch to a different time zone, like to a different timeline. Your passion and sexuality are awakening, and this can be scary. Okay, so it looks to me like Cancerian energies, or whoever's affected by this kind of energy, they've gotten into this relationship where they've worked it out with their person, and other people are going to get hit with this new wave right around Halloween, and they're going to feel like sexually confused or sexually excited and kind of not know what to do with it. Like, people are going to end up having a Kundalini awakening, and they're not going to know what it means, and it's going to sort of jar them out of this hookup kind of energy. They're going to want like a deeper, more meaningful connection, and they're going to be sort of shocked and confused. Some people might be ashamed of it. Some people might get like overly horny because they don't know what to do with the energy. All right, so let's see what's going on in November. Wind's picking up outside. Okay, so November we have the Fool inverted. All right. It's like people are getting thrown into it, but they're not quite sure what the hell's going on. I also feel like this is like an echo. Ooh, echo. I like that better than aftershock that I've been saying. This is an echo of the Uranus retrograde and Taurus energy. Because they're the Fool inverted. He's Uranus energy. So the collective consciousness is getting kicked out of the nest, basically, with this opening on Halloween. There she is. There's the Star Mother. How can you mother yourself? Okay. I'm going to come back to her in a second. And then we have the Owl inverted 39. What did I say the owl was? You have to walk a mile in the shoes to gain the wisdom. This is in a Fool position, right? We haven't gone anywhere yet to earn this wisdom. Now the Star Mother, I was thinking, something triggered me when I was thinking about this card, and I realized that Star Mother is essentially like a nebula, like a huge cluster in the universe, like a galaxy or whatever. There's like a star nursery, Star Mother. I think there's one in Orion, and I think the Pleiades might also be a star nursery. So there's this idea that not only is there a gateway opening, but there's a new cluster of like light that's being brought into the universe. And people aren't going to be familiar with it, but it's part of the dawning of the age of Aquarius. And I feel like the Cancerian energy is in there because it has to do with an emotive part, right? We see very much this idea of love coming in with Cancer. And what is the Two of Cups, the I'm extending my emotions towards you, Venus in Cancer. Three of Cups, we're going to celebrate Mercury in Cancer, right? And then Four of Cups is the Moon in Cancer. It's the Moon card. It's apathy. But what happens if you have that inverted, and we see inverted cards here, is you're sort of letting go of emotional things that you think you're restricted to. Like, oh, this is my caste in society. This is all I'm able to have. You know, well, everything sucks in my life, so everything continues to suck. I'm just a nobody. I'm just a dumbass. This is all I can do. And having that overturned is going to ruffle a few feathers. So we also see November continuing scorpionic energy, this idea of needing to go deeper. But also this idea of, again, the new stars, like new communication patterns coming up in the universe. So let's get into the owl. Feet are cold. Owl is the master of the night. Okay, so this is like, again, this is kind of like having the moon inverted. Like, and instead of daybreak, it's, what is the daybreak but the sun rising? We have a bunch of stars being born, which is sort of like saying the star is shining. The sun is shining, but the ice is slippery. Clarity, discernment of truth. Owl brings you messages from the invisible world. Opens your ears so that you may hear the voices of the ancestors, and you may acquire their wisdom and make it your own. Okay, so it's like when the new stars are born, it's almost like they carry a memory of their lineage, right? They don't. It's like they don't have to read the history. It's sort of embedded into their genetic code, like they can recite the history of their people because they hear it singing in their DNA. And it's not like I'm carrying a bodily trauma in my cells. It's like I'm carrying a history in my own makeup. But it's inverted here, so it says, guards against self-deception and insists that your motives be pure and transparent to all. What is the message that you're not hearing, the situation you're not seeing with clarity? Owl invites you to wait patiently. Bide your time until it's right to act, then do so decisively with no hesitation or remorse. Interesting. Okay, so there's a line in there that says, do not shoot the messenger. But also act without hesitation. How can you mother yourself? Well, in this case, this sort of light that's breaking in the universe is saying, without hesitation and remorse, you're getting, the universe is kicking you out of the nest so you stop wallowing in your own energetic filth. You know, again, oh, a star nursery. You're getting kicked out of the nest, so go, it's time to shine. Rise and shine. Interesting. Okay, so December. Oh, now the battery's going. God damn it. Page of Cups. All right, so this is what the Fool is coming into in December as we're heading towards that bookend full moon in Cancer on December 19th. Right? So people who are resistant to being kicked out of the nest and trying to vibrate on a higher plane of existence after this portal opening, suddenly they're like, oh, I guess I'm starting to understand emotional content here all of a sudden. And I've reassigned assigned in general to pages some of the planets that were missing. So now my Page of Cups has Neptunian energy. Right? Healing of the subconscious emotional traumas for people that are now booted out of their slumber. So you have Warrior Woman inverted. Have you answered your deepest calling? Right? A little bit of tough love from the universe. You gotta speak up about what's in your emotions. So not only do I have Warrior Woman inverted, but I have Wild Woman inverted, 62. So there's that Lover's number, the High Priestess number breaking down to an 8. But I see this, and I see in this case, I think it's supposed to be Justice. But let me see what's going on with Wild Woman, because the Warrior Woman is essentially the same card. I think it's coming in as a feminine with this, well, a page is often a princess energy. But it's coming in feminine energy because it's the High Priestess. We have this Neptunian energy. What's going on in December in Neptune energy? Okay, so this is going to be an echo of Neptune retrograde in Pisces, which went direct on November 28th. That's what's going on with this pile. So let me see 62. 62. Wow, woman. I think she came out when I was shuffling, and I said to myself, oh, if this comes out, I need to make sure that I tell people that this goes with Donovan's song from Cosmic Wheels album, Wild Witch Lady. So I'll have to link that at the end of this video, besides that Butthole Surfer song, if it's even on YouTube. Wow, Witch Lady. Like the song on that album about how astronauts shit. Alright, I was almost done, but the battery crapped out. So we're going to look at Wild Woman here. So she's in reverse. So it's about the essence of authenticity and freedom. And we see that with Page of Cups. I'm beginning to suss out my emotional truths. What resonates with me, right? Because Cups is also about psychic intuition. Downloads. What's coming in on the current. Divested of all social constraints and cultural conformity, right? That's that new age kind of, that new stars shining kind of thing. Holds up a mirror to your essential self. Okay. So in reverse, she's saying excess for its own sake is a sign of imbalance. It's a warning that you may be trapped in obsessive thinking or behavior, looking for release in places that will never provide it. Let go, lest you become like the hungry ghosts of the Chinese Buddhist lore that can never be fulfilled. True release comes from trusting the fluidity of life. Didn't I just say coming in on the current? Understanding that just as a river needs its banks to flow through, so too do you need boundaries around your thinking and behavior. Now is the time to simplify, be mindful, and connect to that light within. Okay, so we had boundaries over here. Right, and even within the lovers, there's boundaries, right? This is where I am defined in my own identity. And here it's talking about the deepest calling. What is your identity? What part of you resonates with you? And while the masses might start to finally pick up on this Page of Cups energy, as there's that reverb of the Neptune retrograde in Pisces and that bookended second full moon in Cancer, there's a little bit of resistance to letting go the sort of trappings of society where people want to blend in more than they want to have any kind of personal responsibility. Right? I want to be in the Three of Cups. I don't want to be the Page of Cups. I don't want to have to go out on my own and stick my neck out. But in order to appease the earth, basically alignment with the universe, this is what has to happen. It's like I'm unleashing my creative and psychic energy. I'm unleashing my ability to stand up for myself and nurture and protect myself. And we see two women cards coming out with what is often a junior feminine energy here. Like essentially the maiden, a princess. And I think a lot of it does have to do with the fact that we've been in a male based society for a long time, and whether you're up with the patriarchy or down with the patriarchy, it doesn't really matter. It's about I mean, there's this interesting thing. It's saying boundaries. That's sort of boxes. That's, you'd think that'd be masculine, but there's thought about like you don't want your peas touching your mashed potatoes in your gravy at the same time. You know, you don't want everything just sort of mashed up without any boundaries, because you'll end up with this sort of like it's like epoxy, right? When the two parts get blended together too much, they just sort of dry up into a crusty mass, and it's hard and there's no flow to it, basically. That's the closest analogy I can get to. So this is, I noticed, I think it was Taurus and Gemini had major tasks going on in terms of overhauling society, and Cancer's aspect, they've got a lot of work to do too. They're finishing, it's like the first half of the year everybody's finishing getting used to the blueprint, and the second half of the year they're trying to spread it to everybody else. So Cancer is in the love songs department. They're not making a romantic comedy anymore. They're working on a psychological thriller that has a deep emotional relationship ingrained in the story. Alright, so there we go. Psychological thriller is my vocab word of the week. I keep using it. Alright, what was the... Oh, hysterical. That was the word that came up today. That was my vocab word of the day. Alright, So if you want to get a personal reading, you can actually get a 13-seat clock calendar reading for yourself if you want. Or any of the other readings that I offer. The complete list is in the description box of my infomercial video, which is going to be linked below this video. You can also email me for that list. Now, all of these contact points are in my link tree. It's linktr.ee/CATtheMinion. I have some actual art items on Etsy, and they're starting to sell now, which is awesome. So you want to get in there and make sure you get them before they're gone. Some of them, if they're not prints now, they eventually will be. But if you get 3 or more items on Etsy, you can use the code 3star17, get 17% off your purchase there. And for some of the items on Etsy and some of my prints on DeviantArt, right now, if they're like celebrities or fictional characters, I will be giving portions of my profit to charity. It's only 10% right now because I am pretty broke, but I'm going to expand that in the future. I got the intentions set, and it's all up to the universe now. So I've got merch on Cafe Press, the prints on DeviantArt, the actual art items on Etsy. If you want to get a chapbook pack, it's like a synchronicity stimulus packet. It's like essentially like the little stacks of cards I had for each month, little images and words and writing. So I've got coloring books over here, makes a great gift, and a dark poetry book. So if you want to help keep this channel running, donate, you can hit that tip jar, energy exchange, paypal.me/CATtheMinion. I also have Cash App and Venmo. I should point out that right now on Etsy, I'm selling the 2 Sleipnir plushies that I made. I was going to make them made to order. I can still do that right now. They're on sale there. You can get one of them if you want, or both of them because they're both still there. One of them is cream colored. The other one is chocolate colored. And then I also have Sleipnir on Cafe Press. Some of the merch has a little phrase on it. It's great for the winter and Xmas holiday season. And then there's art prints of Sleipnir on DeviantArt, and on Cafe Press and DeviantArt I have my peppermint swirl fashion design. Some of them have a candy cane ring around the design, so you can get that in a t-shirt or blankets or little Christmas tree ornaments. And I know that Cafe Press is having I think DeviantArt is also having sales right now, so I think it cuts back on the profits a little bit, but it's great for everybody who wants to get in on the sale. Get stuff a little bit cheaper than it would normally be. And also on DeviantArt, if you go into my prints and you go to the cat logo print, and you go into the tab for the prints, and on art gifts you'll find a calendar. The only calendar I have, just to keep it simple, because it's got 14 different images on it, is under this. So if you need a calendar for the new year, you can get one and have a great art print reproduction for every month of the year. Or you can get individual prints. So all that, Linktree, CATtheMinion. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment. Check out my playlists tab, my discussion tab, and stay groovy, and we'll see you later. Bye.